So this is one of the biggest blind spots for most people. What strategy should I run for this niche or that niche? Especially as a new marketing agency where you're going to be very opportunistic, meaning you're working with lots of different clients, each client having different goals and different campaign strategies to meet those goals. So in this video, I'm going to give you a strategy that you can implement for just about every single niche. As I've been creating the Ads Mastery course in Growth School, our paid school community, I've realized that even if I teach people Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, if they understand these platforms, they still are unequipped to know what strategy or what platform should I use for each niche. And when the budget is tight, you want to make the right decision. So you're going to want to hit save on this video to your watch later list, because I'm going to break down all the most common niches and the corresponding strategy that's going to work for most beginners in this space. I will say before you go head first into a strategy, you're going to want to understand the ICP, or the ideal customer profile of your client's customers. This is going to be things like their pains, wants, limiting beliefs, where they frequent, what pages they follow, their demographics, their age, gender, location. There's a lot that goes into this, and this is something that we cover heavily in Ads Mastery. It's a course included in our community growth school. If you haven't checked it out already, I highly recommend it because it's our lowest cost and highest offer product we have. And I'll share more details about what's included at the end of this video. The links are in the description. So now you probably want to know how to create a strategy for every niche out there. Well, let's first look at the tools that we have at our disposal. So you can see on one side of the screen, I've got platforms like YouTube, Google, search engines. And on the right side, we've got platforms and social media apps like Meta, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. And let's look at it through the lens of we want to have conversions happen, because most of you, if you're running an SMMA or you have multiple clients, at the end of the day, you want results. You want something to show for it, not just likes or views or impressions. You want tangible results like leads, conversions, purchases. So we're going to look at it through the lens of that perspective. So let's break it down. So with these platforms like YouTube and Google, you can get in front of customers who are actively looking for your product or service today. This aspect of intent is so important. And on the other side of the screen here, while they're all very powerful platforms, they enable you to get in front of individuals that look like your ideal customer. But this is important to note, that they're not necessarily in market today or ready to buy right now. Many of them could be in the state that we call problem or solution unaware. So this doesn't mean one or the other is better, but they really just require different tactics because the potential customer is in a different frame of mind depending on what platform they're on. So let's look at a list of niches here and talk about what are common platforms that you can use, the strategy, and what the offer should look like and why. So let's dive into it. So here I've listed out a few common niches that you hear about in the SMMA space or the marketing space in general. These platform strategies can work for a lot of different sub niches. Like what you're going to do for roofers could work really well for a lot of contractors, deck remodelers, concrete, siding, all of the carpeting, flooring, painting, like all these different service-based businesses or like need it now kind of services would work well under that space. So while this isn't a list of every single niche imaginable, these are big buckets that you can use to determine what kind of strategy you should use for each client. So let's start off at the top with real estate. So real estate platform number one, I would rank Instagram and Facebook. Now, people, when they go to buy a home, they may be very urgent with it, need it now, but quite often it's a lengthy process. They really go to somebody that they trust and they warm up to the idea of either switching from a renter, moving to a owner, or if they're going to sell their house, it's not something that they typically need to turn around in the next 30 days unless there's some kind of crisis. So I do have Google on here as a strategy, but more often than not, realtors are going to build trust in the local market, be seen as thought leaders in the space, and then be able to convert people that look like their ideal buyers. So targeting individuals within zip codes, affluent areas, buyers and sellers that fit their demographic is something you can absolutely do on Instagram and Facebook. I will say a warning on that is that there is something called the Fair Housing Act in the United States. So that means you can't take a home opportunity and say, hey, here's a, $500,000 home and you should buy it now, and just target a certain subset of people. That goes against the legislation and the guidelines of Facebook and Instagram, but you can do education-based ads. So you can target a particular group of people that you want to educate. So maybe you give them a guide, you show them the good work that you're doing in the community, and you're really branding your way into working with these people. And we have other tactics that we talk about in Ads Mastery, but in general, Instagram and Facebook are really going to be the key drivers for most leads in the real estate space. Google is also a second player. This is going to allow you to capture that low-hanging fruit. Somebody who's looking for a real estate agent in the local area, you want to show up for that because those are more likely people to buy. But like I said, it is a process to buy or sell a home. So building trust, building brand is extremely important in the real estate space. Gyms, on the other hand, are similar but different. So gyms kill it on social media like Instagram, Facebook. We had a gym client when we first started out, and we simply took an email list. They had recently acquired the gym, and they had about 1,000 people on their email list, and these comprised of past customers, or they were just people that signed up and were interested, maybe did a free trial. But it was a good list, a strong data set. So we took that list, uploaded it into Facebook or Meta, created a custom audience, then a lookalike audience, and just targeted people within a 10-mile radius of the gym that fit that list. That was extremely effective. We grew that gym over 110% in just a few months, and we had the smallest budget imaginable. It was like a few $100s a month in ad spend. So this stuff works. You just have to be strategic about who you're reaching out to and the type of ad that you're submitting. The creative that we used was a simple video. We went there, we shot a video, showed the classes, had some high energy, and then we interviewed people that were members. So we just said, hey, what do you like about the gym? What was your journey before and now 3 months into it? What do you like about the gym? And they could see real stories from real people and get over that wall of fear, doubt, worry about what somebody's going to think about me when I go to the gym. Like all those things and limiting beliefs were broken down by these stories. So Instagram, Facebook, very powerful platforms. I would say as a second option, you want Google. Like if somebody's looking for a Pilates gym or they're looking for a CrossFit gym, strength training gym, they're in market, they're looking for these things actively. That's going to be a great thing to have as well to capture that low-hanging fruit. But if I were to pick one, I would lean more towards the social media marketing aspect than search for gyms. Next up is chiropractors. So I would do the opposite. Like a lot of people that are looking for chiropractors, they're in pain. It's a bit more of an urgent need. They're not necessarily going to see the ad on Facebook, and this shouldn't say cold call. This should say Instagram. But Google is going to be a powerful platform for you because, like I said, these people are in pain. They have low back pain, spinal injuries, things of that nature. They're going to go to Google. They're going to try to find who is available in the area that can help me now. While you certainly can do Facebook and Instagram offers, and if you go to things like Facebook Ads Library, you can see chiropractors are running deals like $47 off your first screening. You get x-rays, you get an overall assessment, and then we work out a plan. Those exist, but I would retarget people on social media, but first get the cold traffic of people that are raising their hand and saying, I'm looking for a chiropractor in XYZ area. So I'm really sharing these strategies with you from the lens of we have a limited budget. Where are we going to spend our money first? Of course, it'd be nice to run ads on the Super Bowl, but we're a small business and what's going to help us convert now? So for chiropractors, I would focus more on that search engine, Google ads, finding the low-hanging fruit, and then simply retargeting people on Facebook. And if you're hearing some of these terms and you're like, I have no idea how to set up a custom audience, lookalike audience, retarget people, check out Ads Mastery at Growth School. That's school.com/growth school. It's $47 a month at the time of filming this video, which is the lowest price it's going to be. The price is most likely going to go up if you're catching this, a few months from now. But that's where we really get into the technical weeds of how to set this stuff up. But overarching, Google and then Facebook and Instagram for the retargeting for chiropractors. Martial arts, you can certainly do a similar gym strategy, like target people who you think would be a good fit. But a lot of times it's a journey. Like they've heard about jiu-jitsu on a podcast and they're going to go to Google now and do a search for jiu-jitsu gyms in the area versus like catching somebody cold and having them walk into a facility like that. Boxing, kickboxing, kind of group classes, I would really put those more in like the gym and fitness category where you could absolutely target those people. But if it's like a very niche martial art, I would start with Google. Try to find people who are already interested in that martial art, want to come into a gym in the local area, and then just simply retarget people by hitting on all those pains, wants, limiting beliefs that we talk about in Ads Mastery to really break down the walls. Because going into a martial arts studio for the first time, it's daunting. It's a bit scary. You're intimidated. What if these people are just going to, beat the heck out of me? Like they want to see stories and people that look like them, people they can relate to. So for most SMMA owners that are working with martial arts, it's a Google ad strategy first for the cold traffic, and then it's a retargeting effort on the back end on Facebook and Instagram telling stories. So just like we did with the gym, you're interviewing members and trying to get a spread of all walks of life. You've got, the young person straight out of college, you got the middle-aged person that works a desk job, you've got, 40, 50-year-olds that, are parents, they're later in life, but they're still, getting after it. Like you want different avatars so people can relate to those stories. And a lot of that comes on the back of retargeting this traffic. So if I had a limited budget, I would go Google ads first and Instagram and Facebook with the retargeting. Attorneys. So this is very dependent on the type of attorney. There's so many different subsets of law. Like I used to work for one of the largest marketing firms in the country that just targeted the legal space. So the strategy for the DUI attorney is going to be very different from the family law and the divorce attorney or the medical malpractice attorney. But as a whole, most of the leads that the agency was providing that I saw came from Google. It was people actively searching for insert the type of attorney in insert the city. That's going to give high intent. That's going to qualify them to be needing a lawyer. And of course, you can do social media on the back end for retargeting, but really Google is going to be a strong place here because think about if somebody's looking for a divorce attorney, they're not going to be liking and commenting on a family law attorney on social media where all their friends and family can see what they're up to. Like they're probably discreetly going to go on Google. They're going to start doing research. So you really need to get in the head of your customer's customer. What is their journey to finding these products or solutions? Google is going to be a great place for that, specifically search engine keywords. There's also things like listicles you can sign up for. Like attorneys will go to like findlaw.com. They'll buy a listing. It's almost like the Yelp of small businesses for attorneys. But that's not really in the social media marketing sphere or like marketing agency sphere. You can help them get set up on those lists, but primarily you're going to be building Google and Google ads and funnels. So any of these strategies that I'm talking about where Google is in play, it's very important that you understand how to run funnels and actually build funnels, because half of the optimization for Google ads is where the traffic is going to. One thing that Google cares about even more than money is relevancy. So if I go to Google and I do a search for a car accident attorney, if I hit enter and just wildly irrelevant searches show up, I'm going to be less likely to use Google. Therefore, there's going to be less traffic, and then Google's going to make less money at the end of the day. So just because you bid on divorce attorney or car accident attorney, and if you're just sending it to a homepage that's like general malpractice or like a general practice firm, the person that's advertising that has a landing page that has keywords all about car accident attorneys and what steps you need to take and reviews and what the intake process looks like and things that typically are like on an FAQ of a website, they are going to show up number one, and they're going to get the click when Google does their instantaneous bid because it's more relevant. So if you don't do things like go high level funnels, you don't know how to build landing pages, you're going to be at a significant disadvantage here. And don't worry, all of that is in Ads Mastery as well as our Growth School community. We've got funnel templates that you can check out, and we're currently building a whole go high level class in there. So check that out if you're trying to get up to speed for funnels and building landing pages, because it's so important for Google Ads. Next, let's talk about the dental space. The dental space also very going to be heavily on Google. Of course, you can brand somebody into being like the local dentist that they go and turn to. But if they have a toothache, they have an emergency, usually people go to the dentist like when it hurts, like it's smart. Like if you have a good dental plan, like David and I do, to have regular checkups, get cleanings. But like a lot of people fear the dentist and they go there last minute, and they'll be Google searching for this more than just being like, oh, I just saw an ad on Facebook, I better go to the dentist. They're probably going to wait till it's too late, and then they're going to Google, have a problem, and go there. So you absolutely want to be capturing that low-hanging fruit in those searches on Google. Next, B2B technology. So very different persona, and it's important when you're analyzing what kind of strategy I should do for my client. Is this a B2C or a direct-to-consumer client, or is this a B2B? Business to business. My clients, do they want customers or do they want other businesses as their customers? B2B technology, that could be things like SaaS organizations, so software as a service, developers, service-based companies. AI is exploding, security, analytics companies, like all of these are going to primarily be on LinkedIn. So most people in the professional B2B world have a LinkedIn profile. You can exploit that by targeting them with LinkedIn ads in the newsfeed, just like you would on Facebook and Instagram. It's much more reliable to get B2B leads on LinkedIn than Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, because literally anybody could type in, hey, I'm the CEO of XYZ company in my Instagram profile, and flex on their friends and look cool. Like there's a bit more integrity with the data on LinkedIn than there are Instagram and Facebook. So if you're going to be targeting B2B leaders, your clients know, hey, I typically get purchased by the VP of analytics or the head of analytics at companies between 1,000 and 5,000 employees in the financial space. Like that is an avatar that you can directly target on LinkedIn that you're just not going to be able to do on these other social networks. So the funnel, the strategy, capturing their attention and either driving them to a landing page, like a lead generation page, or straight to book a call if they have like a longer sales cycle, is a great way to get B2B leads, and LinkedIn is the way to do it. You can also use Google. So if there's questions that their ideal customer profile searches for, like the top 10 security things every XYZ leader needs to know, that's something that you can market on Google. So if somebody's looking for security solutions or data breaches or data analytics, like you want to show up with a guide, something that's informational, that nurtures them. So it's a bit flipped on its head with B2B. Like I've been preaching these local businesses, like the intent, the low-hanging fruit is all on Google. Really for B2B tech, the low-hanging fruit is all on LinkedIn. LinkedIn ads historically are more expensive than platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. But if you get it right and you build your ads in the proper way, like we teach in Ads Mastery, you can be very profitable with your ads, get great conversions, get great meetings for your clients, and have them pay you very handsomely in the space. So love LinkedIn ads. They're great for B2B tech. And then Google is going to be like a secondary supplement for this niche. Next up is yoga studios. So yoga studios are going to be similar more towards gyms. So we want to target people who look like their audience. Maybe they're following yoga practitioners, or they're into that kind of Eastern philosophy. Like those are going to be interests you can target on Facebook and Instagram. Google is also going to be a great play for the low-hanging fruit. But if I could pick one, I probably would start with like Instagram and Facebook, targeting people that look like the ideal customers. And you can totally do the same strategy that we did for gyms as well, where if they have an email list or a list of customers that have purchased from them in the past, many times they could just export that from their website. Like if they're using Wix, it's got all their customers on there, their emails, information. You can just upload that information into Facebook and say, hey, Facebook, go find people that look like these customers. Then you don't even have to waste your time targeting interests or building like an ICP. You just have one based off of that data, and Facebook will analyze about 100 different points on every profile and give you 2 million people, sometimes 4 million people that look like that list that you provide, and then you can narrow it down geographically to however mile radius that people will drive to the gym, so or the yoga studio in this example. So if the client says, hey, really people only will drive about 2 miles to get to my gym historically, because we're in a major metropolitan area, where a suburb, people might be willing to drive 20, 30 minutes because there's just not as many options. In big cities, you've got a lot of options. There's a lot of competition. So you may be only targeting a few block radius. But Instagram and Facebook is absolutely going to be the platform to start with, and Google secondary. Roofing, completely opposite. Google is going to be a great first platform if I had to pick one, because I want to find people who are actively in market. They're looking for a new roof. They're looking to get a quote. They want to get in contact with the company. We want to get in front of those people immediately. Instagram and Facebook, also very powerful for this space. Historically, roofers or construction companies like this, they'll go and find areas that have been affected by hailstorms. Like this is a common roofing tactic. They'll get a list of zip codes of where hailstorms have been over the past 6 months, and then they'll go door knocking. They'll literally send multiple people and just drop them off on the city block, knocking on doors, and say things like, hey, did you know a hailstorm came in April? Well, you actually could qualify for a free roof based off of your insurance policy. I'd be happy to give you a quote and see if you qualify for a free roof. Just fill out this form. They usually got the clipboard, and they're getting a lot of doors slammed in their face every single day. So the pitch to the roofers is like, hey, how about I get in front of all the homeowners in these zip codes and put that offer in front of them directly right in their news feed. You don't have to do door knocking out in the hot sun, lots of people saying no to you because they're trying to have dinner, and here you are knocking on their door. What if you could just get in front of those homeowners instantly like that? It's a compelling offer. That's why roofing does really well in this space, because people are actively looking for it. They're searching on Google. You can capture that traffic, and you can accelerate what historically worked for them and is becoming less and less effective over time. So the Google, Facebook, Instagram strategy works really well. If I had to pick one, I would go with Google first, just because of the intent of somebody actively looking for a quote for a roofing company. But Instagram and Facebook is a close second. You can get a lot of great leads through there. And even just using the instant lead capture forms on Facebook, like we show you in Ads Mastery, you can even skip doing the funnel if you're not doing Google. So it's a great niche, and these are great platforms to use for it. Coaching, I really like YouTube. So YouTube has all the power of Google. You've got intent. So somebody searches for, say it's like a weight loss coach. If somebody goes to YouTube and types in weight loss tips for men over 40, well, that's a very specific avatar, and the individual is qualifying them for our weight loss coach because maybe he works with only men over 40 who are trying to lose weight. You can get in front of those people with a pre-roll ad, like the ad that shows right before you watch the video on YouTube. So you're harnessing the power of Google because Google owns YouTube. So that search engine power is right there on this social platform. Well, it's not really a social platform, but kind of is with commenting. It's hard to categorize YouTube. Like, it's a video streaming service, but it's more and more becoming a social platform because they have stories, they have short form content, they have the community feed now. There's not as much like ability to DM people, but there's very much community on there. So I would classify YouTube as like a social media platform with the power of Google on the back end. So if you can get a video out of your client or coach, YouTube is going to be fantastic. And then you can do retargeting, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, going after the people that look like the audience. But YouTube is going to be my first pick. And then the last two, med spas, Google's going to be number one, Instagram, Facebook, all for the same reasons that like a chiropractor would. Like if somebody's looking for Botox or like very specific types of injections or procedures or laser hair removal treatments, like sure, you can go after people who you think are going to be in the market for something like that, but why not just make it easy? Go after the people that are searching for it on Google, and you can get in front of them immediately. Pool installation, same thing. Google is going to be first. You can get after all the homeowners in the local area, but you want to get in front of people who are homeowners and looking for pool installation today. So Google is going to be strong for that, and then retarget all those people that landed on your Google page or your landing page from Google that didn't check out or didn't fill out the contact form because for some reason they decided to bounce. Maybe they didn't trust you. Maybe they felt like the competitors do a better job. Maybe they have limiting beliefs on price. Like all these things you can retarget on Instagram and Facebook and just simply get in front of them. Say, hey, saw you were checking out the page. Did you know that we have 5-star reviews on Google? Here's some of the examples. Did you know that we do our jobs fast? Like all the limiting beliefs that we break down in the ICP guide and Ads Mastery, you can attack on the retargeting side. So this is a great, simple strategy for most people starting out with SMMA, and should give you some clarity of like where to start. Like all these platforms can work, but they require a different lens, a different framework to make it happen. And this is kind of my personal list of what I would choose first versus a secondary kind of platform or a supporting type of platform. So I hope this was helpful. If you want more information on Growth School and Ads Mastery and all the courses that are included, check out the links in the description, school.com/growth school. It's the lowest price it's ever going to be, and we're updating all the time. Like I'm sharing books that I'm going through right now, stoic learnings that I'm learning throughout the day. So it's much more than like a business and SMMA group. It's really everything. It's like our personal development tips and hacks that we use, the tenets that we follow. That's really allowed us to take our business from a couple guys just cold calling to a 7-figure operation. So highly recommend it. It's our cheapest offer and our highest value product that we sell. Check out Growth School on school.com. And if you're looking for a step-by-step guide on how to get things started, like if this is a little bit too in the weeds for you, check out this video where I go over the basics in about 20 minutes to show you how to completely start an SMMA from scratch. I'll see you over there.